A contract awarded for the completion of the renovation and fit-out of the remaining floors of the Ans Barker building as the government readies it for the use by the Judicial Department. Bimini Superfast christened and launched, establishing a direct link between Miami and Bimini. Government working with RIV Bahamas and Genting to enhance the island of Bimini with a strategic plan to address product placement, announced at the opening of the resort's World Bimini Bay Casino. The government of the Bahamas in discussions to introduce the human papillomavirus or HPV vaccine into the public healthcare system for females who are most at risk for cervical cancer. The implementation of a national health insurance for the Bahamas remains a top priority for the government of the Bahamas. And the annual police summer camp officially launched in a big way for summer 2013. Lots more to share right after the break.
Did you know that there's a right way and a wrong way to put out your trash for collection? All trash must be bagged, sealed, and properly contained. All garbage cans must be covered. Garbage should not be piled around the bin. Only standard food waste products should be placed out for weekly collection. Do not leave out items such as appliances, furniture, and auto parts. Bulk items can be picked up by DEHS. Let's keep the Bahamas clean, green, and pristine.
Welcome to Your Government in Action. I'm your host, Joy Roger. The Ministry of Works and Urban Development has awarded a contract to Buildex Construction Company for the completion of the renovation and fit-out of the remaining floors of the Ans Barker building for the use by the Judicial Department. This announced by the Honorable Philip Bray Davis at the contract signing recently held at the Ministry of Works.
Ladies and gentlemen, you would recall that previously ARCOP Architects had prepared design and construction plans on contract for the renovation and external repairs to the Ans Barker building. Subsequently, contracts were awarded to Sunco Builders for renovation and fit out on the ground floor of the building to accommodate 2 courts. Completion of the roof repairs and stripping out of the upper floors of the building. On the advice of Cabinet, a public tender exercise was undertaken for completion of the remaining works. 6 contractors were invited to participate in the exercise. All 6 of them submitted tenders to the Tenders Board of the Ministry of Finance. A review of the submitted bids indicated that Buildex Construction Company submitted the most competitive bid. This bid was also considered to be most in line with the consultant quantity surveyor's estimate. It was therefore recommended by the Ministry of Works and Urban Development that a contract should be awarded to Buildex Construction Company in the base sum of $4,958,453.33, along with the provisional sum of $200,000 for public utility service connections. The Tenders Board of the Ministry of Finance agreed with the recommendation and advised my ministry to seek Cabinet approval, which was obtained. The contract calls for the renovation and fit out of the first, second, and third floors of the Ans Barker building, and execution of additional external repairs to the building. It is expected that the works will be completed in 52 weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, I take this opportunity to congratulate Mr. Vincent Ramming of Buildex Construction on his successful bid to complete this project. I also extend a sincere thanks to the technical and administrative staff of the Ministry of Works, Construction Cost Engineer Bahamas Limited, Tenders Board of the Ministry of Finance, and the staff of the Office of the Attorney General for their contributions to the advancement of this project. I thank you.
With the words, I name this ship the Bimini Superfast, and may she bring fair winds and good fortune to all who sail on her, Bernadette Christie, wife of Prime Minister the Right Honorable Perry G. Christie, christened the ferry at the port of Miami during the official launch and christening of the vessel, set to provide fast, affordable service between Miami and the island of Bimini. Bahamas Information Services intern Jasmine Hanna has this story.
Thank you, Joy. In addressing the ceremony, Prime Minister Christie explained that the Bimini Superfast has a capacity for up to 3,000 passengers and will operate daily between Miami and Bimini with a ferry time of 2 hours. The capital costs to Resorts World associated with the acquisition and introduction of the cruise ferry services is some $95 million. The Prime Minister said that following environment approval, Resorts World will also build, at its expense, a deep water jetty and terminal for a cost of some $10 million, at which the Superfast and 2 mega yachts will dock. The Prime Minister said, until the dock is completed later this year, the developer has acquired 2 large catamarans to be used. Mr. Christie added that the cruise ferry will provide a comfortable, inexpensive, under $50, and fast mode of transportation to Bimini for both tourists and residents of Bimini, ensuring a steady influx of guests to support revenue streams and affordable transportation for the people of Bimini. In other news from Bimini, the government is thoughtfully but aggressively moving to develop the island of Bimini. Speaking at the opening of Resorts World Bimini Bay Casino in Bimini recently, Prime Minister the Right Honorable Perry G. Christie said RAV Bahamas and Genting USA Limited, a subsidiary of Resorts World, are undertaking a number of public-private partnerships and community enhancement endeavors with the government. He said they would upgrade Bimini's airport facilities, including extension of the runway, the terminal building, lighting and aids for night flights and paving the streets, upgrading the lights, landscaping, general community cleanup, and painting. Furthermore, Prime Minister Christie said the company would prepare a master plan by the leading planning firm EDSA with public input, which will guide the orderly growth and development of Bimini, proper Bimini building codes, controls and orderly vehicles and marine transportation, creation of public spaces and community facilities, public accommodations, sports, education, and health facilities, housing, etc. He said, the economic impacts on the local economy will be enormous as Resorts World proceeds rapidly in concert with the government to turn Bimini into one of the most attractive destinations in the Bahamas, having due regard to the environment, local culture, and traditions.
Thank you, Jasmine. Some 400 new direct jobs are being created this year alone, as well as numerous entrepreneurial opportunities which Biminites are urged to plan for and embrace. More when we come back.
Would you dump garbage in your own yard? So why put it on another person's property? Garbage dirties our environment. It's ugly, attracts flies, and causes disease. Take care of your own garbage and get rid of it the right way. Let's keep the Bahamas clean, green, and pristine.
This message has been brought to you by the Department of Environmental Health.
Welcome back. In news from the Ministry of Health, Dr. the Honorable Perry M. Gomez announced Thursday that the government of the Bahamas is in discussions with the Merck Company regarding the introduction of the human papillomavirus, or HPV vaccine, into the public healthcare system for females who are most at risk for cervical cancer. Bahamas Information Services intern Jasmine Hanna has the story.
Thank you, Joy. Public health officials say the introduction of the vaccine into the public healthcare system will be a major triumph, as the vaccine is currently only available within the private healthcare system and is unattainable to tens of thousands of females who are unable to afford private healthcare. The introduction of the vaccine into the public health system will provide equal access to those females not able to afford private visits and is expected to improve the health of women while also decreasing the incidence of cancer of the cervix and eventually leading to the elimination of cancer of the cervix. The HPV vaccine will also add another vaccine protection for girls and women as local healthcare officials continue the move towards universal healthcare for all. How could we have this discordance in our country in something that is as fundamental as public health when only the private, well-off girl have access to a vaccine that can prevent her from getting cancer of the cervix and the one who is unable to afford it not have the same access? That cannot be right, Dr. Gomez said. I am convinced that this will improve the health of women and also decrease the incidence of cancer of the cervix, Dr. Gomez said. This, we hope, will eventually lead to the elimination of cancer of the cervix. Dr. Gomez said the opportunity for the introduction of the HPV vaccine came about as a result of his attendance at an international conference at which representatives from the world's leading pharmaceutical companies and leading healthcare personnel, including many physicians, attended. We found out that Merck had immunized the population of females between the ages of 9 to 27 in a South African country against HPV, the virus that causes cancer of the cervix, with much success, and I knew that we have been struggling with the HPV immunization here in the Bahamas, as it is currently only available in the private sector, I am told, Dr. Gomez said. Through that conference, Merck was offering a substantial discount to countries to immunize their children, and we are pursuing that. Dr. Gomez said public health officials will upgrade the country's vaccine storage facility in advance of storing and then dispensing the vaccine. He said in order to achieve the goals outlined in the National Health Services Strategic Plan 2010-2020, equity in health, provision of quality health care, promoting wellness, and addressing determinants of health, there is a need for universal access to health services, which in turn places a need for the introduction of a national health insurance for citizens. The National Health Strategic Plan 2010-2020, Dr. Gomez said, will serve as the roadmap for my ministry and comes at a critical period as we implement the development agenda of the government of the Bahamas. The NHSSP will serve as the forerunner for the introduction of the National Health Insurance Plan, within which 7 goals with clearly defined strategies, indicators, and timelines have been identified to ensure that quality healthcare services are delivered equitably to people across the country.
Thank you, Jasmine. From the Ministry of National Security, almost 1,200 youngsters from throughout the province failed Evangelistic Temple recently for the opening of the 20th Annual Royal Bahamas Police Force Youth Summer Program. Thousands more are expected to take part in the program this year. In addressing the service, Minister of National Security, the Honorable Bernard J. Nottage, encouraged the children to remain focused on positive themes.
I've come to join others in hoping to impress you as to how important it is for you to not only celebrate our heritage, but guard our heritage. We want to inspire you, young people, to take the steps and do the things that will keep you as proud young citizens of the best little country in the whole world, the Bahamas. As the Commissioner said, we hear a lot about the antisocial behavior of young people. We hear a lot about crime and all those things. But I'm happy this morning to be in a place where we have hundreds of positive young people who are doing positive things and who are committed to a positive lifestyle. That's why it's so important that the police force is providing an opportunity for you to participate in positive activities. Because that is the way that we're going to have healthy, lawful citizens. I want to commend the management and staff of the police force, particularly the Community Relations Section and Mrs. Skippings, for the role that they are playing in steering our youth in a positive direction. Now let me say to the young people that there are many important things that will be addressed during your program. We're going to try to help you to understand how important it is to be in control of yourself, not to let others make you so angry that you do things that will not be the best for you. We want to ensure that you know how to resolve conflicts before they escalate into violence. We want to let you know that you are important as an individual. You as an individual citizen with self-esteem, with confidence in yourself, is the kind of citizen that we want you to grow, the kind of adult that we want you to grow into. We want you to stay away from drugs. And I have to say that because the studies that we have done have shown us that young people that are exposed to drugs at a very early age. We want you to stay away from guns. I gotta talk about guns because some of you have older brothers and perhaps even sisters who might have exposed you to guns. We want you to be smart and attentive. We don't want you to experiment with sex. And I have to say that because too many of our young girls have to leave school early or leave school early because of sexual promiscuity. And so this opportunity is very important for you. And I trust that you will use this Summer Youth Program as an opportunity to support each other, to say no to drugs, to say no to crime, to think before you act, to think about the lessons that you've been taught by those who care for you and love you, starting from your parents to your teachers and to significant others. And I encourage you all to abide by the rules of the program, to come every day. Because you know we like to come the first day, and then you don't see you anymore until the last day. But we want you to come every day, because there are lots of activities that are planned for you. I encourage you then to abide by the rules of the program, to get involved in as many of the activities as possible. Celebrating our heritage, it is up to you to determine the kind of Bahamas we will live in the future. It's up to you. Come on, it's up to you. And this Summer Youth Program is part of our effort to ensure that our Bahama land will be in good hands as those of us my age and above. I think only one or two people are older than me here today. Anybody who's older than me, please stand. Come on now, gotta be somebody. Come on, Sally, you're Jewish. You gotta stand. No, don't, you don't really understand. You don't really understand. You don't, I'm only joking, Sally. You don't really understand. Mr. Strong, you sure you're older than me? Yes. Okay. You look younger though. Yes, as I indicated, we want to leave our country in good hands. And so, I want to thank you all for giving me this opportunity to address you. Sergeant Campbell and Ms. Capron, I want to congratulate you and the others for the job you're doing. with the Urban Renewal Band, and I'm looking forward to this 600-member band on July the 9th as we bring in the 40th year of our independence. Commissioner, I want to thank you, and I want to thank the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Give them a big round of applause. Because we hear a lot about what the Royal Bahamas Police Force is not doing. But what people have to start doing is talk about what the Royal Bahamas Police Force is doing. And they're doing a pretty good job in the Bahamas today. And so I thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's only that for me, I don't think that there are many parents here. It's only that for me to thank you, the parents, for allowing your children to attend this program, and I ask you to keep on keeping on, encouraging them in the positive, not the negative. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
And finally, this evening, the Ministry of Financial Services, in conjunction with the College of the Bahamas and the Bahamas Bar Association, are launching a new course through the continuing education arm of the college. The course is intended to introduce those interested to the features of the law pertaining to the WTO, as the Bahamas ascends to that organization. The Ministry of Financial Services recently released a promotional video to introduce the course.
Welcome to an overview of the course on the law and policy of the World Trade Organization, commonly known as the WTO.
This course is an introductory overview of the institutional structure, law, and policy of the World Trade Organization and the role of trade in development and Bahamian trade legislation. This course is recommended for private and public sector attorneys, international trade stakeholders, and all those interested in the World Trade Organization.
This course is a collaboration of the Center for Continuing Education and Extension Services, commonly known as CES, and the LLB program at the College of the Bahamas, in conjunction with the Ministry of Financial Services and the Bahamas Bar Association.
The Ministry of Financial Services and the Government of the Bahamas is pleased to partner with CES and the law faculty at the College of the Bahamas to bring you this trade law course for professionals in the Bahamas. It is an effort by the Government of the Bahamas to live up to its mandate to double the investment in education and training, and to cause for professionals in the country to build on technical capacity as we proceed towards accession in the World Trade Organization.
As the Bahamas nears accession to the World Trade Organization, the LLB program is pleased to provide this short course on Introduction to the Law and Policy of the World Trade Organization.
The Ministry of Financial Services is particularly pleased to be cooperating and collaborating with the law faculty of the College of the Bahamas, CES, and the Bar Council on this initiative of bringing an introduction to the law and policy of the World Trade Organization to the Bahamian community. With the Bahamas' pending accession to the World Trade Organization, we have sought to inform the public of the various components which comprise the World Trade Organization, the agreements which underpin the organization and its functioning.
The Bar Association welcomes the opportunity to partner with the Ministry of Financial Service and the College of the Bahamas in the sponsorship of this course. The association wishes to encourage diversity in the study and the practice of the law, and considers this initiative as the beginning of organized and certified continuing legal education.
As the Bahamas is on the path to accession to the World Trade Organization, I felt it was important to design a short course for attorneys who are both in private and the public sector, and also people who are just interested in trade, to give an overview of what the World Trade Organization is.
This course will cover some of the main principles and areas of the World Trade Organization, including most favored nation, national treatment, and the dispute resolution system.
The course is designed for working professionals and it's available on Saturday mornings. It's 4 3-hour sessions. The course will really provide a basic introductory knowledge to the World Trade Organization, what the organization is, its structure, its functions, and some of the agreements in the World Trade Organization. It is available for anybody who's interested in trade, and you can start the course even if you have no background knowledge of the World Trade Organization.
The four main components that will be covered by the course are the history of the World Trade Organization, its structure and functions, the accession process, and the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, commonly known as the GATT, and its schedules of concessions, an overview of the General Agreement on Trade and Services, commonly known as the GATTs, and general exceptions to both the GATT and GATTs, an overview of the Dispute Settlement Understanding, commonly known as the DSU, including its cases, procedures, and implementation of decisions, and an overview of the Technical Barriers to Trade Agreement, commonly referred to as the TBT Agreement, and the Sanitary and Phytosanitary Agreement, referred to as the SPS Agreement, including draft Bahamian implementing legislation which will give effect to those agreements. The course will also focus on developing countries within the WTO, including small island developing states.
This course complements perfectly the educational initiatives that the Ministry of Financial Services has sought to undertake, particularly in the area of international trade. This course, if it is successful, we think will be a pilot and an opening to many additional courses as it relates to international trade law. What we're hoping to do is to build technical capacity within our society, particularly with practicing attorneys, so that they themselves are briefed and exposed to the particular area of international trade law, which will be so important to us once we have acceded to the World Trade Organization.
It is my hope that young lawyers will take up the challenge and enroll in this course. I trust that they will learn about the WTO and its operations and programs for development for countries such as ours, and that they will appreciate that with their newly acquired knowledge, they will be better able to serve the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. I wish the course directors well in this pursuit, and I look forward to a better enriched bar because of it.
We encourage all persons interested to register at the Center for Continuing Education and Extension Services at the College of the Bahamas. Telephone number 326-3316 or 326-2025. For more information, please visit our website at www.ecbethel.com.
That is all for this week. Join us in our next edition of Your Government in Action as we continue to follow what this administration is doing to develop a more prosperous Bahamas.